Hi everyone, welcome to Thuy and Edith Argue. She's Thuy.
She's E.
And we argue occasionally.
So Thuy and Edith argue, hence tea time.
Tea, a little bit of tea.
With Thuy and E. So I actually haven't seen Edith in a minute.
Yeah, it's been, 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, she's been out of the country.
Yes, I took a visit back home to jolly old England.
A little holiday.
A little holiday, see family, see some friends, celebrate my brother's 60th, the old bugger. Old he may be, he still has moves. He was on that dance floor and we were trying to just go with him, do what he was doing. He was bobbing down, my knees kept buckling. I was so scared to go any further down. I'm like, man, you're 60 and you can still do that? I was pretty impressed.
Like, what was he doing? Like the limbo or something?
He was doing all kinds of moves. No limbo.
Dang.
He was rocking it. He tore that rug up. He did well. I was quite impressed with him.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have invited him to the wedding instead of you.
Well, what do you mean? I tore a rug up at your wedding.
But you said he really tore a rug.
He really did. Man, he's such a show-off.
Was he surprised that you were there? Did he know that you were going to be there?
I actually told him I was coming because my goddaughter was getting engaged also, so I went like the week before. I didn't want to be home and not see my family for a week, so I told him I was coming over for my goddaughter's engagement party.
Oh, okay.
It was still a surprise for him for his birthday party, though I didn't know about it.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and the weather was cold.
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 In the middle of August.
But I think I've been spoiled with the Florida weather. It was, for me, I mean, the sun came out from behind the clouds occasionally, but the wind was still blowing, so for me, it was chilly. My buddy Adris gave me a jacket, it looked like a bear. I looked like a bear when I wore this jacket. It was just perfect.
Well, what was the temperature? You're saying
let's
cold.
See, about 17, 18 degrees Celsius. So what's that? 36 plus 30 is like 66 degrees Fahrenheit. To me, that's cold.
That's in the evening or like during the day?
Daytime.
Okay, that's nice. That's fair weather.
That's cold weather. Cold.
Such a wuss.
I am. I'm not going to lie. I've been spoiled, like I said.
So I knew that Edith would be away. By the way, best 3 weeks of my life.
Rubbish. Or
no
as
headaches.
they'd say in England, bollocks. That's
Yeah.
a lot of bollocks.
Yeah, see, that's a couple things that I had planned because I knew that when Edith came back, she hadn't been there in a little while. So I wanted to ask her the latest trends and the latest things.
Oh, what I noticed when I was over there, I rented a car. They tried to charge me out the ass for insurance, which firstly, because I just got off a long flight and I was just like, just get me in a car, I want to go. I'm like, yes. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, the insurance you want to charge me is nearly 1.5 times how much it cost me to rent the car. So I'm cancelling that. I'm cancelling the insurance. I want it back. But ever since I cancelled the insurance, I'm like, oh my gosh, these roads are so narrow. Even just parking at the house, like I parked at my friend's house, I went so far onto the curb, like people could barely walk past my car. It's like a slalom, the way that people park, and they park forwards and backwards. The cars are all over the place. I was so scared that someone were going to clip this car, like just when I was parked. It was terrible.
How
the
big
roads
of a
are
car?
So narrow.
Yeah, how big of a car is it? Like compare it to something that I would know.
Okay, so it was called a Nissan Qashqai or something, Nissan Qashqai, which was pretty much the same size as a Chevy Equinox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's a big car.
Big-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, they had bigger cars. I don't know why, because the roads are so small. But from when I was driving over there, when I lived over there, I don't remember being so pensive on the roads. Like, if cars were, especially on the farmhouse roads, you know, like just driving over the moors and stuff, it's just like a brick wall outside you. There's no lines really to separate the two lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just pull over into a spot when cars were coming. I was so terrified.
Sure.
Even when my friend Adris were driving, I'm like, cringing, no, you're so close. It was terrifying, really bad. And so that's one thing I noticed.
And also not parking, but you're driving on the other side, so you had to get used to that, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I did have to get used to it.
Yeah.
But after I first got in the car, it was a shift stick, so I had to shift gears and stuff. I stalled it as soon as I got in the car, going around a roundabout, which luckily was just in the parking space of the rental place.
Right.
And after I stalled it, I'm like in the middle of the roundabout, and I'm like, which way am I supposed to go? Oh gosh. So first I had to start the car again, and then once it had started, I'm like, all right, which way am I going? And then I noticed the arrows on the floor, so I was good. I set off. It were a little traumatic at first, but once I got onto the motorway, it was fine.
Okay.
I went okay.
Okay.
And the motorway is the highway.
But the last time that you were there, which was what, like maybe
2019.
Oh, okay. So 5 years ago, you didn't have to drive 5 years ago?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And it was just as scary then. More so when Tony were driving the car.
Oh.
That was bad. Like, he clipped a parked car. Like, the car was parked on the side of the road.
That's not cool.
And he clipped it. Like, the mirrors touched. I think he shattered the mirror that was parked, and ours were just fine. But yeah, it's a little scary on the roads over there. And the cars are getting bigger. I don't know how people can do it.
Right.
I really don't. But yeah, I managed without incident.
So you had used the word bullocks earlier.
Bullets?
Bullocks.
I said bollocks.
Bollocks.
Yes.
That's how you said bollocks. I'm sorry.
Bollocks.
I'm saying it wrong because I'm not.
Have you ever seen Sid Vicious and Nancy? Sid and Nancy?
I have not.
Well,
I have not.
I think one of his albums were called The Dog's Bollocks.
Right. And
So
that was my question for you, is that I don't know if it's a recent slang term or not, but how come if you say bollocks, it kind of means like something bad?
Bollocks just means rubbish.
Okay, right.
It's like rubbish.
Trash,
That's
right.
rubbish.
But then when you say, oh, the dog's
The Dog's Bollocks was the name of Sid Vicious's album, The Dog's Bollocks.
But the term now means that it's something cool or good.
Bollocks?
The dog's.
The Dog's Bollocks
Yes.
is something good?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure about that?
I looked it up. I'm telling you.
The Dog's Bollocks means something good?
Look it up. Honest.
I can't be bothered doing that right now, but I'm sure you're mistaken.
Okay. I was going to ask you like what that phrase means.
The Dog's Bollocks.
Mm-hmm. That somehow, because you have the word the dogs in front of it, you know, possessive apostrophe S, that it then turns it, instead of trash, it means something that's actually cool or
Bollocks
awesome.
is rubbish.
Correct.
So whatever's coming before or after it means rubbish.
I'm just telling you.
Extra rubbish.
I think that's the latest
violent
slang.
rubbish. Rough rubbish. Dogs rubbish. Rubbish. Trash. Crap. That's the Dog's Bollocks.
All right. Once you look it up and see that you're wrong, if you're wrong,
I will look it up, but
then you'll say, oh, I'm not hip.
Maybe I'm not. I mean, there's a possibility.
Were you in the city a lot, or were you more like just in little suburbs?
In the suburbs.
Okay.
Staying at home with my mom, my buddy Adris, went to friends' houses.
Okay.
Went over to the malls, played, did the quiz. We did the quiz night one night over in Ilkley, just over Ilkley, over the Ilkley Moors.
What does that mean? You did the quiz.
There were a quiz night in a bar.
Oh, trivia, okay.
In a pub, yeah. Trivia night in a pub. And we did pretty well. Like, the first team got 61 points. We got 60 and tied with another team.
What did you get?
Well, the first prize was 20 quid. And the second prize was 10 quid. And we had to have a tiebreaker with the other team that we tied with. And my buddies sent me up to do the tiebreaker. It was just a solo tiebreaker.
Arm wrestling.
No, it was a frigging question about Martin Luther King. When was Martin Luther King, when did the first celebrate Martin Luther King Day? What year was it?
Okay.
And I'd had maybe a bottle and a half of red wine, so I wasn't really thinking. What year do you think?
The first year that they celebrated it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe 1970.
Okay, it's a better guess than mine. I said it before he even died. Maybe before he even was born. I'm like 1947. But it was actually 1983.
83. Okay. I didn't know how long before he was actually.
Yeah, and I'm like, why are you asking this? Just because I'm black and from America. Don't mean to say I know anything.
Right.
And I totally didn't.
Oh.
So that was really bad. But
so,
anyway.
Look, you were tied for like 10 quid, but then you spent like 100 quid there.
My buddy Adris took care of the tab.
Just saying.
It wasn't that much. It wasn't 100 quid, but,
yeah, right.
It's pretty expensive in England.
Tell what the word quid means.
A quid is a pound. £1 sterling.
So why don't they just say a pound?
Well, they do say a pound, but sometimes you say a quid because it's slang for a pound.
Okay. Like $10 versus $10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I knew what quid meant, but some people who are watching or listening, they might not know.
Yeah, a quid is slang for a pound.
What does poppycock mean?
Rubbish also.
Do you use that?
Poppycock.
Yeah, do you use that word?
I have done in the past. I mean, I've moved to America. I've been here 25 years, so these terms are like, they're wayward with me. I don't use them much anymore, but poppycock is like fluff. That's rubbish.
Is it old-fashioned? Like an old way of saying rubbish? Okay.
Yes. A lot of poppycock.
When I kind of looked that up, because I wanted to see what the actual origin of that was, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe that it's actually Dutch, even though it's kind of morphed into English. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I believe that the Dutch had a term that was similar sounding to poppycock, and it meant like poop.
Yeah.
So
fluff. A lot of fluff. A lot of fluff and baubles.
And what do you mean? Because I've heard you say this term before, by a floaty. That's not something that people put on to swim in the pool.
A floaty? That's an armband. Is that an American term now? You see, I'm all mixed up.
Wait a minute.
Tomato.
See, we use that as a flotation device. Yeah.
Right, okay.
In the pool, or if you're at the beach, like a little raft. But I've heard you say it before in relation to a constitution that does not sink.
A dump?
Yeah.
You got a floaty in the loo.
You've called it that.
I have?
Yes.
I don't remember. It's been so long. But yes, possibly. It could be just a floaty that's
in the loo.
A poop.
Yeah.
A poop, okay. Yeah.
I'm just like, oh.
Sometimes I say things and it could be from me being in America for the last 25 years, or it could be a British thing.
A mashup.
Yeah.
A fusion.
Yeah. Really, I'm a bit of a mongrel anymore. I don't know.
Sometimes I do flub my words too, and I...
Flub?
Yeah.
Is that an American word?
Yes, it's not a Vietnamese word. She keeps flicking me off every single time you take a sip. I noticed that. But Daniel will call me out on it, and I tell him that I have more of an excuse than, say, someone like him. I'm like, when you speak more than one language, and then I'm trying to learn a little bit of like Italian and French as well.
Really?
You get your stuff like mixed up. You get your wires crossed sometimes.
I find it pretty difficult to mix up Italian and French with English.
No, but I'm like with Vietnamese, and then just the words. Like sometimes when it's like almost I can't translate it enough in my head before I spit it out, and it comes out wrong. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not the word I meant. If that makes sense.
No,
to anybody.
It doesn't.
I'm trying to think of an example now.
Think of one.
Because it's just funny. You're saying floaty, and then you're saying, oh, sometimes I'm thinking the English version versus the American version.
Well, it's more American for me now because I've been here for so long.
Okay.
Although, yeah, around the same amount of time. I've been in America maybe 5 years less than I was in England.
Oh, uh-oh. You gotta move back. You're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it.
Each time I go back, I'm a little more British.
You're just trying to justify it. I can't think of any examples now, but there's been times when I've said a word and I don't say it exactly correct, and I'm like, oh yeah, like he'll correct me. He's like, did you mean blah blah blah? Oh yeah. It's just I don't know. It just came out wrong.
Yeah.
But I have one for you because this has to do with British stuff. Is I also looked up because you said that you like bangers and mash. You like having traditional breakfasts.
Right.
And you like bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash. I didn't have any when I went over, but I mean, that's one of the dishes that's in England.
Does Mumsy make?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Because usually, I mean, they do have beef sausages. But usually it's a pork sausage. Mumsy doesn't eat pork.
Yeah, but she can make it with other stuff.
Like I said, they usually have beef sausages, but my mum's not. No, it would not be one of my mum's dishes.
I looked up because I was curious. I knew that I was going to be asking you about bangers and mash, and if you had any on your trip this
did not.
Most recent time. Mm-hmm. If you knew the origin of why it's called bangers and mash. Do you know?
No, I don't.
You don't care?
Not really. But I don't know. Is it something to do with Guy Fawkes?
What?
That's a no.
What did you just say?
I said, is it something to do with Guy Fawkes? Because there was lots of bangs around Guy Fawkes. That's why we have the 5th of November, bonfire night. Lots of fireworks, lots of bangs.
No, and I didn't even know what you meant by Guy Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes?
Yes.
No.
Committed treason.
No, I don't. I know. That's why I was like, what did
story.
You,
That's another story
okay.
for another time.
No. I looked it up because mash is because of when you mash up potatoes and stuff. So that's like that makes sense to shortening it just to say mash. But bangers or sausages back in the day were made with cheap ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Like the common folk, the poor people, and it was made with cheap ingredients and high levels of water. So when they were kind of steaming or cooking, they had a tendency to explode.
Pop. Right.
Yes, or pop. So that's why they were called bangers.
That's why you stick your fork in them when you're cooking them and roll them over so that they don't explode and pop.
Correct. You would think.
Yeah, you would think.
But then we wouldn't be calling them bangers.
True. It would be sausage and mash.
Yes. What does blimey mean? Do you use that word?
Call blimey. It's just like blimey. Blimey.
Yeah.
It's like
it's like you're saying blimey.
For real. Really? Call blimey. Are you sure?
So an expression like wow or OMG? Or is it are you serious? Is that what you mean?
More like that. Are you serious?
Blimey.
That's a shocker. It's a shocker.
Okay.
Blimey.
It's just an exclamation.
Yeah.
Like wow or whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I have one last one as far as like lingo.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask it to you if you've never heard of it. Because when I first learned about it, I was surprised.
All right.
Okay, so our mutual friend, Bronwyn.
She's Scottish. She's from Glasgow.
Well, she's Welsh. She's from Wales.
Okay, not Scottish.
But she did spend a lot of time in like Edinburgh, and she did go to London and whatever. Spent a lot of time in the UK in general, right?
Okay.
So she's saying that a few years ago, she hadn't been, and she went back there for a comedy festival or whatnot. and she was at her friend's flat. That's a term. And she was saying, whatever, she was just like waiting for her friend to get ready, and then her friend held up a sweater and said, "Does this look too twee?" And she's like, "Excuse me?"
Too twee?
Yes. And then she said, "Excuse me." And the friend's like, "Too twee. Does it look too twee?" And she goes, "What does that mean?" And then she proceeds to tell me the story, and then she explains that I guess there's a small fraction of people that use that word twee, Twee, how my name is pronounced, to describe something like girly or dainty. So she was asking if this sweater was too like twee or dainty.
Okay, so firstly, you are not girly or dainty. So,
nice.
And it's spelt in a different way. It might be pronounced the same as twee,
Well,
but
people aren't
I
gonna
have never heard that before.
really.
No.
This was like, I want to say 2012 or 13, but it's gotten more popular now.
Really?
Yeah, and I want to know if it's grown to the level where you've actually heard of it.
I didn't hear it my whole vacation. Nobody said twee.
Because no one that you hung out with was dainty or girly.
No. Quite true. Quite true.
See? I'm telling you, that's a real one. And the origin is in the UK area, I'm pretty sure.
So, would you know what the word dishy means?
No.
Dishy?
So was that a new one?
No, it's not a new
Oh,
one. It's
okay.
an old one.
Okay.
If someone's dishy.
This means like shady or something?
No. Handsome, attractive,
Oh.
cute to look at. That person's dishy.
Oh, like they're a dish.
Yeah.
Like
Dishy. Something to gobble up.
something to consume. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah.
Which other ones do you use? I'm gonna start using twee more.
What I used while we were over there, man. Things came back to me a little after a while, but chuffed.
Right.
You know what chuffed is. Okay.
I know it because of the context. I've heard you used it, and you say things like knackered, and you say things like, yeah. But you can explain to people.
Chuffed. That means happy. I'm chuffed about that. That's
right.
That's a good feeling.
Right.
Chuffed is a good feeling.
And knackered?
Knackered is tired. Over exhaustion. Like, oh God, I'm so knackered. I need to take a nap.
Which she is all the time.
Or a kip. I need a kip.
A nap?
A nap.
Okay.
I need a kip. That's another. That's
so
a term.
I also picked up on this when I watched the show Ted Lasso a few years ago.
Okay.
But they did, those guys, when they're in the locker room, they would say, bruv. What's up, bruv? A lot. Bruv. And it's like, I would have the captions on because sometimes my hearing, or they talk so fast, so I had it, and it's actually spelled BRUV. I go, is that a weird accent way of saying bro?
Yeah.
But they're saying it with a V at the end?
Yeah.
Bruv.
As in brother.
Why don't they just say bro or bruh?
Brah. Because from England, and it's a U as opposed to an O. So it's bruh.
But they say it with a V. They say bruv.
Yeah, because it's TH. That's how we pronounce a TH, with a V, as a V. Sometimes.
Okay.
Brother. That's my brother. That's my brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I thought my own, deduction skills or whatever, I thought that it was, I think my way is smart. I thought it was a combination of brother and gov. You know how you say, hey, what's up, gov? What's up, governor? So bruv is like a combo.
Yeah.
Isn't that that's a good guess.
It's a good analysis,
Bruv.
but it's wrong. So, yeah, stop it.
Okay, stop it.
Stop it.
So we have to go faster because we only have limited amount of time left.
So if I said, you jammy bugger, do you know what that would mean?
Well, bugger I know is something that's annoying or a nuisance. Like bugger off.
Bugger off would be like, leave me alone. Just leave me alone. But a jammy bugger would be like, you're so lucky, like you just bet on the horses and you pulled out 100 to 1 and put $50 on it and you got it, and that'd be like, you jammy bugger.
Right. You lucky mofo.
Corny. Yeah. Yeah.
Corny?
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Well, because you weren't supposed to get it. Like, that's not like a Cornish pasty.
Well, corny for us would say, we would say when something is so cheesy.
Cheesy.
It's so corny.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, jammy.
Okay. That's cool. Is it true that a lot of people are wearing more like burgundy tones now? Or is that like a fall thing or what? But I don't know. You didn't really go to the city.
I didn't go to the city, but I mean, you don't have to go to the city to see what people are wearing. People wear what they wear.
Okay.
And if you're into fashion and going with the times, then maybe you'll wear the colours that are in for that season, but not me.
Okay.
In fact, what I took was not sufficient. I didn't take anything for the weather. Like I said, my buddy Adris had to dress me. I'm like, it's so cold.
You wore a bear coat.
Why would I bring shorts? Why would I bring shorts to England when I know we'd only get in maybe half a day of sunshine? But it was fun nonetheless.
Cool.
It was fun nonetheless.
And then the last thing I was going to ask you is, did you see more Japanese food restaurants or just even just Japanese food, like fusion in places?
No.
The reason why I'm saying that is because I looked up trends and stuff happening in England, like right now.
England as in the whole of England, or do you mean like London?
England.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't look up just London because I know that England's a country.
Right.
So I looked up as a whole that in general, Japanese food is getting more popular than Indian.
Well, I won't say that.
It is. There's also actually, and I don't know the name of the food delivery service, but
It's
there.
not Uber.
No, but there's a food delivery service that, I don't know how true these like stats are and stuff, right? But it says that poke bowls and Japanese food is the #1 most ordered dish in the UK as of recent.
Not for me and my buddies. It was doner kebab, curry, Indian food.
All right.
No Japanese food.
Mumsy doesn't make that.
Mumsy don't make what?
Like, does she do curries?
She'll make a curry go.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Pretty
Indian?
good at that. Not Indian style, Jamaican style.
Okay.
But curry nonetheless. Not a poke bowl. Whatever that may be.
It's Japanese.
Yeah. No. Not in England.
By the way, I want to let you know that I don't keep track of which Spartan shirts I've worn, but I wore another one. This one's a little older.
Powered by Rakuten.
Just wanted to, rub it in.
Okay, I'm going to do one with you. I will definitely do the next spat. And when is it?
The one that I'll be doing
November.
Next is, I'm pretty sure, November. South Carolina.
Really? My friend's coming to visit in November. We were going to take a trip to New Orleans, but maybe we'll have to go to South Carolina. I don't think she's been there. She just needs to put another dot in her map. She's got the world map and put little pins in everywhere she's been.
Okay.
I don't know if she's been to South Carolina, but we were planning on going to New Orleans, all the voodoo and witchcraft and scary stuff. We were going to go down there and have a bit of gumbo and stuff.
Nolans.
Yep.
It's fun. I like it there. And I wanted to open this, I guess, on air in front of everybody, but Edith got me a little souvenir. Thanks,
It's just
Edith.
a little suitcase. I knew you wanted one to pack your belongings because you're so tiny. You're a little tiny Asian.
I'm so twee.
Yeah.
I asked Edith
to bring us something new.
Yeah, to if she sees anything like weird or unusual.
I got it mainly because it's just got the British flag, and I know you like containers. You brought me something from Italy that came in a little tin, and you asked for the tin back. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Let me get her own tin. That's what you get.
I think I was joking, first of all, and it was something from Paris, wasn't it?
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
Toffee. Toffee from
Thanks.
Paris.
I said to Edith, anytime you see something weird or unusual, I'm always game, because that's always a new thing for the week that I could possibly do for Life of Thuy. She says, what? There's nothing weird or unusual in England. Yeah, there is. Everything is weird. All the stuff you eat.
To you, it's not weird. It's good. Fish and chips, roast beef, Yorkshire pudding, Cornish pasty, cheese and onion pasty, sausage rolls.
Spotted dick pudding.
Spotted dick, which is just a fruit sponge with custard. Cornflake tart, Manchester tart. I could go on. The list is endless.
What's mince meats?
Mince pies you have at Christmas time, and it's just mince meat, which is also like fruit, sultanas, raisins, all mixed into a pastry.
And what's sweetbreads?
Sweetbreads? They're not knackers? Like bollocks?
Yeah, organs and stuff, right?
Sweetbreads? I can't say I've ever eaten sweetbreads.
But that's what it is. And
is
that
what it is?
Yeah.
Well,
it's like
I don't eat it.
Well, it's part of your people's stuff. And
my peoples are Jamaican.
Oh, so now you're going to force...
I can change it up anytime I like. All right, Thuy. How about you tell people where we can be found?
Sure. But first I was going to say that if they had any trends that they knew about, to please let us know. Maybe they live in the UK currently. Maybe they know of all the different like lingo and the slang.
There's a lot of slang. I mean, English is the most spoken language, right? By most people.
American English.
American English. But the British English have so many varieties of the same different meanings for the same word. So it's a lot of confusion. A lot of confusion.
Well, if you like this podcast, we hope that you subscribe, like, and share, and continue to watch. But you can find us on platforms such as YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any major leading listening platforms.
Spotify. Thanks for joining us. We hope you join us next time. Until then, be well.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Au revoir. Adios. Goodbye. Cheerio. Pip pip.
Chin chin.
I need to pee.
Jeez.
If you had fun listening today, please make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.